Alright guys, welcome back to Legends of Evil, where I talk about the villains outside of the comics. And it's time to go back to the world of kaijus. Since I figured, Pacific Rim's out, I decided to talk about a kaiju from the Gamera universe. And yep, I am talking about Gamera's arch-nemesis, Gyaos. Now, Gyaos first appeared in the film Gamera vs. Gyaos, where else? Where Gyaos came out of a mountain, and he came out of a mountain to eat people. That's his whole thing, is that he is essentially... Imagine if one of the Titans from Attack on Titan had wings and could shoot sonic beams. So nothing like a Titan, in other words. Gyaos is considered to be Gamera's arch-nemesis because, on the grounds of, well, he's appeared in the most movies, so why not? Gyaos is essentially... he's like a large winged creature, flesh-eater, able to shoot sonic beams that can even cut Gamera. His body is actually interesting in that he uses two tubes in his neck. However, it causes, in the original series, due to his design, he couldn't, turn his head all the way around. So you can attack him from behind. Also, Gyaos was kind of like a vampire in that he could only come out at night, and he also had regenerative abilities. So, Gyaos, when he first appeared, attacked Japan for several times, even nearly killing Gamera a few times, and even the Japanese military had this weird idea to stop Gyaos by making him dizzy with a giant makeshift merry-go-round. Only in a Gamera film, folks. So, Gamera eventually defeated Gyaos in a battle, but this was the film that kind of showed that, yeah, we were starting to gear towards more kids. Even yeah, it was like that in the original film, but then in Gamera vs. Barugan, it was kind of darker, really. And this had some dark tones, too, but it was definitely seeing where you could see the direction was going. But it was still a fun movie. Gyaos then another version of Gyaos appeared in Gamera vs. Guiron, where he did battle, where that Gyaos was slain by Guiron. And from there, we also had him appear in Gamera Super Monster. But really, did he really, though? That movie was so frickin'... Oh my god, Gamera Super Monster. Anyway, so Gyaos, along with the rest of the Gamera universe, kind of fell into a sort of hibernation until the Heisei era, where Gyaos and Gamera got a major facelift. In this universe, Gyaos is no longer, there's no longer one Gyaos. There are now multiple Gyaos, and they are hungry. In here, they were created by the Atlanteans, along with Gamera, but the Atlanteans were wiped out by Gyaos before, Gamera could save them all. So, but however, Gamera did manage to wipe out all but 3 Gyaos, and those 3 Gyaos are on the move. They're hunters. Their design is also vastly different from their original version, in that they can actually move their head around, and can use sonic beams. But however, the Gyaos in here don't start out as these big, menacing creatures. They actually have to grow to that length. So, Gamera, throughout the film, is hunting the remaining 3 Gyaos. And when originally they show up, people are like, oh no, these are a new species, we have to protect them. And then we realized a little too late that, oh god, the Gyaos are actually really bad. Let Gamera kill them all. So, Gamera, when he first arrived, managed to kill one of the Gyaos, but the other 2 escaped until a battle in the forest, which the forest's name I'm forgetting. But in there, Gamera did battle with a slightly larger one until his final battle with the main Gyaos who was trying to breed in, I believe, Okinawa? No, not Okinawa. It was I think it was Osaka. Could be. I need to really rewatch the Gamera Heisei trilogy, and if you haven't already, you should get on that. It's probably one of the best kaiju films ever. The Heisei Gamera trilogy is kind of like the equivalent of the Dark Knight trilogy of kaiju films. Yeah. Anyway, so Gyaos was defeated, at least for a while, and Gamera in the second film did battle with the Monster Legion. But it wasn't until Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris, that things got a little interesting, in that people were starting to discover Gyaos all over the world. And it was getting bad. Like, the Gyaos invasion was starting to come to there was a Gyaos invasion, a resurgence, if you will, of Gyaos coming all over the world and converging slowly on Japan. Meanwhile, we have another new monster in the midst called Iris, who is actually theorized through some of the film to be a sort of to be a sort of mutation of Gyaos. So there's a lot of theories regarding Iris in that he could be a anti-version of Gamera or a mutated Gyaos. There are a ton of theories regarding what the true story of Iris was. But at the end of it, you see the swarms of Gyaos ready to do battle with Gamera once more. Finally, the Gyaos, almost said the Gamera, Gyaos returned in Gamera the Brave, where the swarm of Gyaos were attacking the first Gamera until he blew himself up, took all the Gyaos with him, and we got the other Gamera. So, Gyaos' history is interesting in that he's a lot different from a lot of Gamera's other villains, where a lot of villains for Gamera mostly are like aliens coming to enslave humanity, or in Barugan's case, ancient monster to protect the gem, or Jiger, who was a cursed monster of sorts, or a monster based around supernatural power. Gyaos' whole thing is that I just want to eat people. A lot of the space monsters that Gamera fought were enslaved by aliens, or were aliens that wanted to conquer the world. Gyaos was interesting because at first Gyaos was just this monster coming to eat everyone. And then in the Heisei and even Millennium movie, the Heisei trilogy and the Millennium film, Gyaos got a major facelift in that there was more than one Gyaos. And that's always interesting to see because one Gyaos was terrifying. Multiple? Yeah, even Gamera, I'm pretty sure, was a little hesitant in fighting all those guys. Hell, even that little short that was supposed to be the big trailer for a new movie had the Gyaos as the main enemy throughout it. And that's what I found interesting about the Gyaos, was that they were this force, just this oncoming force, like a giant swarm of locusts, just coming to devour everything, and then, you know, wipe out humanity and move on to the next thing. That's always been interesting to me, is that Gamera's archenemy isn't just one foe, it's multiple opponents, it's one force. It's not like with Godzilla and King Ghidorah, where Godzilla just has to fight one Ghidorah, unless you go by, unless you want to have the thing of the multiple Ghidorah theory, which, yeah, a lot of people use, and even I'm kind of suspective of that. Even I kind of dig that idea. Even though, yes, I know they're all different continuities, but in Rulers of Earth, it was like it was theorized there's a whole planet of Ghidorahs in Godzilla Rulers of Earth. But in here, yeah, multiple Gyauses. Gamera couldn't just fight one monster. He had to go against the whole, just swarm of Gyaos. Would it be Gyaos or Gyauses? Or Geises? Kaiju pronouns. How do they work? Anyway, so Gyaos was I always dug Gyaos for that, was that it wasn't just one monster, it was a whole swarm that not even Gamera or the whole world could take on. Just this onslaught of flesh-eating, sonic beam-shooting, pterodactyl bat monsters coming to kill us all. And that's really intimidating. And that's really kind of terrifying when you think about it. So, Gyaos is an interesting opponent in that regard. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of Gyaos as a villain? Do you guys like him? Do you guys hate him? Do you guys like one Gyaos or multiple Gyaos? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this segment of Legends of Evil, and once again, just comment below, let me know what you guys think of him, and I will see you guys later.